to Knit One, Heart Two. My name is Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie, and as many of you will be disappointed to see, Sheila is not here with me. Unfortunately, we had big plans to record yesterday, and Sheila had a scheduling conflict. And then we talked to each other last night, and because Sheila was working night shift last night, she was going to be too exhausted to record today. And tomorrow I'm going on a family trip. So we are going to record our next show together on this coming Friday. And we are 99.9% sure that that's going to actually happen because Sheila's externship is completed. And she has some time off before she's going to move on with that educational stuff. So the good news, hey, I'm still recording. The bad news, Sheila's not here and you're going to have to wait until Friday to hear her good news. So take a look at my notes since I don't have Sheila here to remind me. We are still doing the washcloth knit along. I've seen a lot of people have posted in the thread with some awesome washcloths. They can be crocheted or knit, and they just need to be completed during the contest time period, which is February 1st through the end of March. This is a great time to get your hostess gifts, early Christmas gifts, birthday presents, whatever, done. I think I said this last week, it would be a great gift to wrap up with a handmade soap from one of the many awesome vendors. Just a great, inexpensive way to thank a hostess or make somebody feel good, like a little spa day for themselves. So anyway, that's in there. It doesn't matter if you've photographed these projects for another group. You need to be a member of the group and you need to have completed them during the time frame. And that's pretty much it for the rules. And we'll draw from posts that have a picture of a finished object. It has to be finished. So check out the thread in the group. If you are not a member of the group, you can join by clicking a button right over there. It'll take you to the Ravelry link if you're on the blog. Otherwise, go to Ravelry to the Knit One Heart Two group. And you know what? This week I did not check how many members we have in the Rav group, but if you are a new member or you are just checking us out for the first time, thank you very much. And know that we're having some recording weirdness because my co-host Sheila is finishing up the requirements for her phlebotomy certificate, and she has a crazy work schedule. And I am quite confident over the next few weeks things are going to go back to normal. But right now we're kind of recording on the fly, and because this was a tough schedule for her this week, here I am by myself. So let's move on to On the Dance Card. This is still on the dance card. I almost don't even want to show it to you. It's little baddie. Still on the dance card. Still not finished. Still knit out of beautiful, let's see if I can get the light to shine on it. The lighting is terrible. I'll explain more of that when we get to the middle of the show. Still knit out of beautiful Blue Moon Fiber Art Socks that Rock Lightweight in the Rookie colorway, which is a gorgeous deep black, blue, purple, and green. It looks like a raven's wing to me. This is a design that I've been working on for far too long. I have done everything except for knit the final edging chart, which I've already charted and worked out and swatched. I just haven't had the mojo to design lately, and it is what it is. So yeah, that's on a US 6.4mm needle, and someday that will be coming to a pattern store near you if I ever actually get it done. So there it is. So that's on the needles. The other thing that's on the needles that I can't show you is the Aquaphobia socks, which is a pattern by Crystal Flanagan, available for free on Ravelry. And I'm doing it in Into the World sock in the Muse colorway, the pooling colorway. And I left the project bag out in my car because I took it with me to a knitting event yesterday in case I had time to knit. So I have put a little time in on those, but I can't show it to you. Way for preparation. and I'll tell you why I can't go out to the car in a minute. And the last thing I have on the needles is Lacuna by Angelia McGar. This is a pattern that I tech edited, and I am about to start the edging. I did not work on it this week because I had work on a lot of other projects, which I'm going to show you in the next section. But this is knit out of Spinning Fates yarn Shiva base in the Hyacinth Bouquet colorway that was custom dyed for Lois of Knitting's My Bag, and she gave it to me for Christmas. But I do know at least one person from our group liked this yarn and ordered some custom dyed from Laurel, who is Spinning Fates. So if you love this colorway, you can ask. She might make some for you. So yeah, this is going to be the next thing. Hopefully this will be finished by next week because I'm really looking forward to getting that done. And I have something so crazy to tell you. Angelia McGar, who I've tech edited 2 patterns for her, this one and another one that I finished recently. I sent her one of those Ravelry Valentine things, and she got back to me later and said she had just gotten off the Carnival Triumph because, yes, Angelia McGar was trapped on the crazy, stalled, no toilet cruise ship. I feel so bad for her. She was really looking forward to her trip. I didn't hear many details, just that she got off the boat and it was quite an adventure, but what a nightmare. So yeah, poor Angelia. If you're watching this, Angelia, I am so sorry that your vacation turned into craziness. Anyway, this is in my Ploverbird bag, which was kindly gifted to me by Ploverbird. And the other bag that was gifted to our show, we realized we still haven't given away. So that's definitely going to be one of the prizes for the washcloth knit along. So there's that. So that's pretty much it for what I have actively on the needles. But this week I have 3 finished objects. So I'm very excited about that. The first one and the most important one is I finally finished the Shipwreck Shawl. This shawl was designed by Knitting Harpy, and it is available free on Ravelry from Knitty, which is an online knitting magazine. And I knitted out of Spirit Trail Fiberworks Clotho base, which is discontinued. It's a merino lace, in the Ancient Stones colorway. Smells good, smells like soak. And I used 8.0 Miyuki glass seed beads and Limeline crystal from my local bead shop. This project, if you follow me on Twitter or on Instagram, you will know that this sucked the life out of me until it was done. I complained about it until the very last day. And the part that sucked the life out of me was this netting part. It's very pretty, and you can see the beads on there a little bit. You can, if you're looking, here, I'll put it closer. You can see the beads now that it's blocked out, but it was crazy. Knit 2 together, yarn over. Never again. That's all I'm saying. But it's done. I'm going to stand up so you can see. Ignore my pajamas. It's huge. That's half of the shawl. I'm wearing my sock monkey pajamas. I will never wear this because I find circular shawls to be awkward to wear because you got to fold them over. Although Coggy, who I was in a VKN with, it's pretty, gave me a great idea to maybe put it on a big hoop and display it. It came out gorgeous. See if I can put it over the white space so you can see the lace. It's hard to stretch out a round shawl. There you go. It came out gorgeous. I'm pretty sure that I am going to put this in the Topsfield Fair. I'm going to enter it in the Topsfield Fair. It just needs the ends woven in. I haven't done that yet. I just blocked it a couple of days ago. You can get a really good close-up of the beads. These were the perfect beads for this. They do look like droplets of water, which was kind of the thing. So I'm really happy that it's done. I'm never going to knit another one like that. I didn't find knitting a circular shawl very enjoyable because of the way it bunches. And I guess I could have put it on a really giant cord for my needles, but I didn't. So, and I really didn't like that netting edge. It's going to be a long time before I can do anything that has that kind of like craziness going on. The beading, which was the big thing that I worried about, was actually, it didn't bother me that much. The bead spinner thing was awesome. I have an electric bead spinner that I showed on a prior episode. That got the beads right on there. So I only had to break the yarn 4 or 5 times to put the beads on. And I put on about 2 feet at a time. And I had no problem with them. It didn't bother me to drag them up. I dragged a few at a time. That was surprisingly to me the least annoying thing about the shawl. The big annoying thing was that netting. But it's done. I'm so glad. I am so excited that I don't have to knit it anymore. It's been in my queue for a long time. I had the yarn for more than a year. I purchased it more than a year ago specifically for that project. So I am really glad. It's like a bucket list thing that I can cross off. I did that shawl. It's really beautiful. I don't know. I guess I could use it as a tablecloth. I don't know. I'm going to enter it in a fair and see if it wins a prize. And then I'm going to put it in the cedar chest. And I don't know. Someday if I ever go to a fancy party where I wear a cocktail dress that could go with that, maybe I'll wear it. So that's that for Shipwreck. Thank goodness it's done. The next thing that I got off the needles, I showed you this last week. And I meant to mail this on Friday, but I didn't get to the store. This is my version, my homebrew version of the Voodoo You Love Me doll that was designed by Susan Claudino. She didn't design this pattern. This was my attempt to recreate the pattern. And he's cute. I like him. He's going to one of my friends. And even though he's kind of funny looking with his little stiff legs, because he's out of some of my early hand spun that's not very pliable. It's very overspun. I think she'll enjoy him for what he is. But after I did him, I really still wanted to get the look of the Susan Claudino one. So I bought the pattern. And I made another one for the other friend that I wanted to make this doll for. And this is the Susan Claudino version. And he is knit out of my hand spun Fierce and Flawless from Into the World. Hello. Hello. I love the little point on his head. I couldn't make it go in. It looks like he has a pumpkin head. He's much cuter. This is like his ugly little brother. I love him though. I love them both. I love them both for different reasons. And to the people that I'm sending them to, these are thank you dolls for all the really lovely, nice things that you've done and the support that you've offered me over the past year or so. I appreciate it. So I hope when you get them in the mail, you will like them. And this guy's gonna come with needles strategically placed to amuse the person that I'm sending it to. I think when she sees it, she'll get a laugh. And this little guy's not going to have needles because the person who's getting this would never stick a needle in him because he's too cute. So these guys, version you get with the pattern, version you get if you make your own. I like the pattern version better. But yeah, if you want to knit one of these, Susan Claudino sells this pattern on Ravelry for $5. And it's a pretty good deal. And you could make this really in any weight. This was like a sport worsted weight. I think he came out really good. I think he would be super cute if you did him in a bulky and did a really big one. It would make like a nice big doll for your kids. My kids want one of these. I kind of want to make another one for myself because he came out really cute. I love this yarn. And even better, I didn't have to crack into the second skein of this, so I still have a full skein of this hand spun left. So those are done. Yay. And I got those done really quickly because I I could have knit anything in the world once that stupid shipwreck shawl was done. So that's it for Rate My Date. 2 thumbs up on the Susan Clodino pattern. I don't even know how to rate the shipwreck shawl. If you don't mind knitting lace in a circle, the center medallion is simple. It's really not difficult lace. It's a good idea to read through the pattern notes that people have put up on Ravelry to decide if you want to modify the things. That Madeira lace, the leafy circle, the way that it's designed, it's off kilter a little bit and it bothers some people's symmetry. So I used some suggested changes to correct it, but you might not feel the same way. But it's a good idea to check it out. And if you are not going to be bothered by a lot of knit two together yarn over with really big needles and a really small piece of yarn, then this would be a great project. This would actually be a great beginner lace project. It looks so fancy, but it was really very simple. But it's a marathon project. Like, I had to really force myself to finish it. And on VKN last week, people were telling me you can bind off the netting part at any time. And I was so tempted to just bind it off. But I struggled through and I did knit it as written. The netting part was knit as written with the requisite number of rows. And I used my Infinity blocking wires to block it, and 2 thumbs up for that. I got a package of 6, and it only took 3 to do the whole circumference of the circle. And it saved me a ton of time that I would have spent pinning it out. So if you don't have Infinity blocking wires and you need some flexible blocking wires, go for that. She's on Etsy. Now, I do have a new category this week, which is unusual. I'm going to call it the big breakup because my next project that I'm getting ready to do is to take apart the Moaning Myrtle cardigan. Some of you may remember me showing this cardigan. It is the Myrtle cardigan. I can't remember the name of the designer. I will link it in the show notes. It's an all-over lace pattern cardigan. It's, as you can just see from me holding it up, it's giant. It never fit me. The way that the sleeves were designed to be set in made them have like a puff, so that it's like a puffy sleeve thing, which I find to be very unattractive when worn. I mean, I could probably put it on over the sweater. That's how big it is. It's huge. And when I first knit the sleeve, it was so ugly. It on the underside where the increases happened, it was all bunchy and weird, and I actually redesigned the sleeve. I had a lot of trouble with this. People who've knit the Myrtle cardigan either adore it or they hate it. And if you read my pattern notes, and I will link you to the project, you will see the different problems that I had with it and why this whole project just kind of left a negative taste in my mouth. And then, you know, just to cap it off, it's hideous because it's giant. So my plan for the rest of today is to take the buttons off, and I am going to completely rip out this sweater. I have my nitty knotty here. This is my nitty knotty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unwind the sweater, and I'm going to wind it onto this nitty knotty. This is a 2-yard nitty knotty, and reskein all of the yarn that's in this. Then I'm going to soak it in my little wash basin, thwack it a little bit just to get the wrinkles out, and hang it to dry. And so in a few days, this yarn will go back to its original state, and I am going to use it to knit a sweater. And I think I'm going to knit a Cecily Glowick McDonald sweater, breakwater. And I would show you the picture, but my husband is playing Minecraft on my mini iPad, so I can't show it to you. But I will link the breakwater pattern to the show notes as well. This beautiful yarn is String Theory Caper Sock, which is a cashmere merino blend in the Canyon colorway. I specially ordered it to do this sweater because I love the colors, and it would just be heartbreaking if this gorgeous cashmere yarn didn't get worn in a garment. So I'm going to make that happen. I have a few skeins that I never used for this. Oh, I see the cat has felted some of this. This is not good. Can you see the felting? My cat licking cat. Ugh, my wool licking cat. Hopefully that won't be too much of a problem when I rip it out. But yep, that's the plan, man. So as soon as I hang up from this, that's getting ripped out. And then also in the sort of breakup category, or breakup and makeup maybe, is this sweater. This is the Summer Sun sweater. And I will link to the project because I totally didn't look up who designed it. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. And I'll show you what it looks like standing up. It's just a straightforward V-neck top and stockinette, sleeves, lace patterned bottom, and the side sleeve has like a lace detail down it. Very simple cardigan. I knitted out of Dream in Color Classy in the Cool Fire colorway. I think I finished it, I had it on the needles for a while, but I think I finished it 2 years ago, and the sleeves were like this. Every time I wore it, I had to roll the sleeves back, I had to cuff them back twice, and I finally took it on Friday night and made the sleeves the appropriate length. So now I'll probably wear this more often because even though it's a bit big on me, you can see how wide the top is, and the neck is kind of wonky. It's a great little throw on and go cardigan. I love the colors, and you know, it's got just the right length now so that I don't feel like it's covering my hands. I literally took off this much on each sleeve. I cut the sleeve here, I ripped off the cuff, unwound it, and then reknit the edging on. So feel good about it because I haven't worn this for a long time because of that issue with the cuffing the sleeves. It wasn't an attractive look, so I'm glad that I did that. Let's see. So that's what I've been doing. Going back into projects that are not getting worn and finding a way to either repurpose them or fix them so they can be worn. So that's a good thing. Whirlwind Romance, still not spinning. I have no spinning mojo right now, and I think it's just because I've had so many other things going on, which I will talk about in a minute. Hopefully I'm going to get a little spinning in tonight. I'm going to try. We'll see what happens. Future dates, I've already told you I'd like to cast on Breakwater by Cecily Glowick MacDonald, and I do intend to do In the Pink by Izzy Knits. But I think that the lace edging on In the Pink is very much like Knit Two Together Yarn Over. So I think I'm going to push that onto the back burner for a little while. Because I don't think I can knit that right now after I've done the Nightmare Shipwreck Shawl. So I'm going to knit that out of my denim Zoberball. I have two skeins, one from the Deep Stash and one that I bought last month to add with it so I could make the shawl. So got a lot of ideas. It'll be nice to get a sweater on the needles. It is a sock weight sweater, but it'll be nice to just knit something plain that I don't have to think too much. And you'll see Breakwater is a pretty, just plain cardigan with a linen stitch around the neck and the sleeves. It's very pretty, simple, not a lot of math going on. I think it'll be good. So, crushes and heartbreaks. Wow, where to begin? First of all, I think I want to do my crush. Everyone who's in America, and probably people who are outside of America, may know that on Thursday, it was February 14th, was Valentine's Day, which is a greeting card holiday created in the United States, as far as I know. And, you know, my husband is really, he's a good Valentine's person. He always buys me flowers and candy, and we We had a nice day, but for me, Valentine's Day is more than the greeting card holiday because it is the anniversary of the day that I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure as a result of peripartum cardiomyopathy. And so this particular Valentine's Day was my 7th year as a survivor. And I thought I would just, since I'm alone, spend a few minutes telling you what that was for those of you who haven't heard about it before or are new to the show. Peripartum cardiomyopathy is a rare pregnancy, I guess you'd say, complication where, for reasons that they're still not quite clear on, your heart stops working properly. One of the sides of the heart gets enlarged and the muscle has to work harder, which makes the enlargement get worse, and it's like a spiral effect. It has something to do with the hormones from pregnancy. Most people who have it while they're still pregnant or right after the baby's born, within a few weeks of after the baby's born. I started having the symptoms of it when I was about 2 weeks before I had my son. My blood pressure went up really high, but not high enough to be high blood pressure. So it was right under the level of where there would be concern. They did do testing on me to make sure that I didn't have HELP or one of the like preeclampsia, one of those complications. It didn't occur to anyone that I might have PPCM because it's extremely rare. I had my son on February 10th, and on February 13th, I was in the hospital I had a C-section. I had a scheduled C-section because of complications with my son. And I couldn't breathe. I woke up in the night and I could not breathe lying down. And they gave me a nebulizer treatment because I could hear crackling. And they could hear it when they listened to me. They could hear crackling, chest congestion. And they thought that it might have been from the IV. Sometimes when they give you an IV, it's too much fluid in your body. It can overwhelm you and you can get some lung congestion. And they ordered an EKG. And the EKG people read it and called back and told the staff in the OBGYN unit to send me in for a chest x-ray. And my doctor and I both automatically assumed that I must have some form of pneumonia and that the chest x-ray was going to confirm that. So nobody was really alarmed. Like, I wasn't alarmed. I thought, oh yeah, because I remembered that when I had my first baby, for the first 2 weeks after she was born, I couldn't breathe lying down flat because my chest was so congested. So on Valentine's Day, February 14th, my doctor came in and said that I had been scheduled for a chest x-ray in the afternoon, and I was feeling better by then. And I said, you know, I feel better. It's not bothering anymore. Can't I just skip the chest x-ray and be discharged? And she said, all right, I don't think it's anything to worry about, but if you feel worse, you need to come back to the hospital. So I left, and I had a hard time. I was getting out of breath just walking to the car. And by the time I got home, I was trying to read a story to my daughter, who was 3 at the time. I had the newborn. And I could not speak an entire sentence without taking several breaths. And my mom was like, that doesn't really sound good. I tried to take a nap, and I couldn't breathe. And by that evening, the evening of Valentine's Day, it was so bad that I thought I was dying. I told my husband, we need to drop everything and go to the emergency room. And it turned out that I was in congestive heart failure, and they told me that they were going to put me on the heart transplant list, and I was admitted to the cardiac unit without my newborn, which was kind of awful. And I spent 4 days there, and they ran tests on me, and that's when they realized that I had peripartum cardiomyopathy. So that was happy Valentine's Day for me. I think it's kind of ironic that I was diagnosed with a serious heart problem on Valentine's Day. That's kind of how I roll. Those kind of weird things happen to me. The great news about PPCM is that if it's caught early enough, and mine was right on the borderline, could have gone either way, you can recover. And so I am proud to say that on this 7th Valentine's Day, since I had heart failure, I am a 7-year survivor. And I was really thrilled because somebody on Twitter, when I tweeted my 7-year survivor anniversary, told me she was also a PPCM survivor. So I always love to hear that. There aren't very many people who have it happen, so we're like a small a small club, a club you don't want to be in. But so my crush is that I'm still here, and my heart is completely normal now, and I did not have to be on the heart transplant list for long. So that is a very wonderful thing to be grateful for, and I am very grateful for it. And I had a heartbreak, but I can't remember what it was. And any noise you hear is my kids, because it's Sunday and everybody's down in the basement because it is snowing here again. So maybe that's a little bit of what my crush was, that it is actually snowing again, and we're going to get another 3 to 6 inches. We've already gotten some the last couple of days. Some more snow for us. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, those are my crushes and heartbreaks. Baubles and Bling. I went to a new event this weekend. It was called the Russell Garden Center Winter Farmers Market Farm Fiber Day. Russell Garden Center is on the Boston Post Road in Wayland, also known as Route 20. And they do a winter farmers market every Saturday, as far as I understand. But some of those days are farm fiber days. And, they have vendors. And this year they had 13 different vendors. With a lot of really gorgeous stuff. They had wool blankets, and they had fiber, and they had yarn, and they had felting supplies, and weaving supplies, and all sorts of really awesome stuff. A friend of mine lives out by Wayland, so I drove out there and met her, and we did the whole thing. And I stopped at one of my favorite vendors from Spa, Good Karma Farms. And those of you who watch regularly will know that Sheila did a bandana cowl, a free pattern on Ravelry, out of the yellow Good Karma yarn in this same base, which we jokingly call the banana cowl because it's yellow, which is why I made that mistake. This is the colorway Little Monsters. But to me, it looks like grapes in a vineyard. I think it is so beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think I might create some kind of a squishy, puffy cowl to wear. But this is 210 yards. And I'm trying to see what it is. It's 60% wool and 40% alpaca, which is why it is so squishy. And it's really puffy, but I think it's an Aran weight. It's not quite big enough to be bulky, but it's gorgeous. And that was all that I bought. I could have bought a lot of other stuff, but 2 things were hindering me. Number 1, I don't need to buy any more yarn. I know about this, but I was really going there not intending to buy anything if possible, and only if something really grabbed me, which this did. And the other thing is, many of the vendors, particularly the food vendors, because this is a farmer's market, they do artisanal foods and produce. A lot of them only took cash or check, and I didn't have either. So I was saved from buying a few things that I probably would have spent my money on because I didn't have my money in the appropriate form. So that was kind of a good thing. But if you live in this area, check out Russell's Garden Center at www.russellsgardencenter.com, and they will tell you when they're doing their farm fiber days. They might do more. This is the second one they've done this year, and as far as I can understand, they've been very popular with people. I ran into a friend there from a fiber guild, not the one that I belong to, but another one. She was there with a group of friends from her guild. They were all knitting. It was great to see them, and it was a lot of fun. They had some amazing food. I bought homemade bagels. One of them was a spinach and herb bagel that was out of this world. And they had a guy that just does pickled stuff, and he even had pickled grapes and pickled watermelon and pickled asparagus, and I totally would have bought from him, but he didn't take credit But they had just amazing produce, fish. They had bakers, people that did all natural, gluten-free treats. There was a candy maker who had handmade marshmallows. It was just amazing. I think my husband and I are going to run out there for the regular farmer's market next weekend because when he saw some of the stuff that I brought back, he was kind of mad that I didn't buy more. So I told him if he wanted to take some money out of the bank and come with me next week, he could pick whatever he wanted. So this is my one Baubles and Bling this week. I am expecting some awesome Baubles and Bling that I hope I will get before Friday. I don't know if I will. I'm expecting my next installment of the Into the World Fiber Club, and I also was finally able to get an order from Highland Handmaids because, to be honest with you, I whined to Heather, who's Boutros' babe, that every time I go on to one of her updates, I can't get what I want, and she did a custom order for me. So I'm super excited for that to come because I've always wanted to spin her stuff. I've heard really good things about it. And this colorway that I'm going to show you, I'm going to keep a secret what it is until you see it, is amazing and exactly dyed the way that I wanted it to be. So that's really cool too. So that's it for Baubles and Bling. Gossip and innuendo, let me see. The only thing that I think is going on that's still coming up is the North Shore Yarn Crawl from March 14th to 17th. Again, you have to check the website that they have, and it'll be linked in the show notes to learn more details about which stores are going to be on the tour. I know that Mad Color Fiber Arts, Heather from Mad Color Fiber Arts, I believe she's going to do a trunk show at Coveted Yarns in Gloucester. So if you would really like to catch her stuff live and maybe support her because she was unfortunately the victim of a theft at Spa, they took a great deal of her yarn stock. And you happen to live in the area, you can check out her show at Coveted Yarn during the tour. She has some really amazing stuff. If you like really saturated, beautifully dyed, vibrant colors, she is the girl for you. So that's that. I think the other stuff that's coming up, the festival circuit that we like to do starts in May. I'm definitely going to be going to Massachusetts Sheep and Wool. I am possibly going to go to Connecticut Sheep and Wool this year. It's kind of like, I'm not sure. My friend Jessalou is vending at Connecticut. I've never been to that Sheep and Wool, so I really kind of want to check it out, but a lot depends on what's going on at that time. And, I remembered my other heartbreak. I had some kind of flu all week. I'm calling it flu-like symptoms because it was body aches, really bad body aches, fever, sore throat, and malaise. And it lasted for like 5 days, and then the fever broke. So I don't know if I kind of had the flu, but my flu shot was like warding it off or what. But that's why I didn't get a lot of ongoing knitting stuff done. Once I finished the shawl, I kind of just laid in my bed all week. But back to sorry about that. I totally forgot to tell you and the other thing, but that was my other big heartbreak. We're definitely going to go to Mass Sheep and Wool. I might go to Connecticut. I've never been to that one. I'm going to try to go to New Hampshire Sheep and Wool. That's usually one that I attend with my family. That's a good family one. They have a lot of activities there for kids. I probably won't go to the Webb's tent sale because I don't need any more yarn. And there will be a spinning day up in Newburyport that's sponsored by the guild that I belong to, and I will probably attend that. So at some point I will put together a list of the events that we're planning on going to. We are definitely going to be at Rhinebeck this year. I will definitely be at Stitches East if it is still held in Connecticut. I haven't even bothered to look yet. And I will definitely be at the New England Fiber Festival that they hold at the Big E because I love that event and it's a good close to home one. So I'm starting to look forward to the stuff that's gearing up for for festival time. It's always fun. I love going there. I love meeting up with my friends. I like making new friends, and I hope that if you're in the area, you will try to come to some of those events because it's a lot of fun, especially if you've never done a fiber festival or a sheep and wool before. It's a lot of fun. There's like crazy fair food, and it'll be awesome. So I think that's it. Sorry to disappoint everyone who was expecting Sheila's big news. I was expecting it too, but life just didn't work out that way. And as it turns out, the weather would have been kind of crazy this morning for driving anyway. And honestly, Sheila was thinking of driving over here and after she worked all night, and I'm really kind of glad that she didn't even attempt it in this weather. I'm glad that we had already decided yesterday night that it wasn't going to happen. But I do kind of see the sun coming out of the clouds in the future. Things are going to get more, less crazy for Sheila soon. There's going to be a more regular schedule, and we will be able to pick a time to record and stick to it like we have in the past, and it'll be fun. And hopefully Sheila will have time this week since she got another break to get something on the needles. I don't know what her knitting is like. We haven't talked about knitting lately. We've been talking about other stuff, but yeah, so that's good. Thank you for joining me on my solo self again. I'm like Steve from Dramatic Knits this week. We're both going solo. And by the way, Steve, if you're watching this, I know that you said Heather was your internet wife. I'm just saying. I heard that. So thanks for tuning in. If you are a longtime viewer, thanks for coming back. And please join the show. Oops, it's on that side. Whoops, that side. Please join the group if you haven't already so that you can take part in our knit-alongs. If you have something that you want to talk about in the group, please feel free to start your own thread. We created the group so that everyone can talk. We don't have to always start the threads. We love it when people do. And I look forward to doing another show for you next week with my actual sidekick with me instead of all by my lonesome. So have a great week. Stay warm. Get some knitting done and knit with heart. Bye, everybody.